Hey, welcome back. J.P.'s World of Wrestling. Your man J.P. here. Today, we're talking about this guy. This guy. Rowdy Roddy Piper. This is his Hasbro figure. I've shown many of you this. A lot of you, actually pretty much all of you, have seen this before. This is a good figure. But I want to talk more about who the man Roddy Piper was. I met him on a couple of different occasions, and on both occasions, he could not have been a nicer guy. He could not have been any sweeter than he was. And the first time was back in I want to say it was 2015. It was early 2015, but I was on my cell phone. I was looking at Twitter, and Roddy had tweeted out that he was going to be appearing at Rocket Fizz Soda Pop and Candy Shop in the Portland area, which is where I lived. And he was going to be there that day. So I immediately went out to my wife at the time, and I said, "Hey, do you want to go meet Rowdy Roddy Piper?" And her eyes got big. She's like, "Yeah," because she had never met anybody famous before. She had never done anything like that before. But I said, "Okay, well, he's going to be in Beaverton today, so, get ready, because we're going to go meet him." So we got ready. I took her wheelchair, folded up, put it in the car, and then we drove out to Beaverton. And it was about, 30, 40-minute drive to get there. And we waited in line, but we weren't the first ones in line, but we were kind of at the beginning of the line. We were like inside the store when Roddy showed up. And when he showed up, he saw my wife in the wheelchair, and he went right up to her. She was the first person he greeted. He went right up to her, took her hand with a big smile, said, "Hey, how you doing?" And that was thrilling for her. Then he went and got himself one of his own soda pops from the cooler, and we just waited in line to meet him. And then once we got there to meet him, he was very gracious with his time. He didn't, hurry us along. The people at the store didn't hurry us along. Everybody got their moment. And my wife and I got our moment with him, and it was really special. And he told the story about how he got to get his own soda pop, because he has a bubblegum flavored soda pop called All Out of Bubblegum Soda, based on the line from his movie They Live. And if you haven't seen it, you should go see it, because it's a good movie. You should try to find where it's streaming or get the DVD or something. And then I told him that he was involved with the very first wrestling match I'd ever seen. And he's like, "Oh, really? Well, what match was that?" And I told him I couldn't remember, but I know he was there and Hulk Hogan was there, but I think him and Hogan were on the same side. It ended up being a 6-man tag with Piper, Hogan, and Billy Jack Haynes on one side, and then Hercules, Don Morocco, and Adrian Adonis on the other side. And there might have been other matches, but that's the first one I remember. So he was all smiles, and he autographed this Born to Controversy DVD. If you look at it closer, it's made to me from Rowdy Roddy Piper. That was a huge thrill for me. Now, the second time I met him, I was actually working, because I used to work security, and a lot of times I'd work security for events held at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. And so one time this was actually, I think, 2014, because later on in 2014, or 2015 actually, I don't know. I know the second time was after that, but I know 2015 is when he passed. But I was backstage on Monday Night Raw, and it was the night of Hulk Hogan's birthday. So the WWE brought in a bunch of guys, a lot of legendary guys that were all like Hulk Hogan's buddies. You know, Mr. Wonderful was there. I had an interaction with him. But Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were both there. I didn't get to meet them, but I saw them up close. And, you know, Jimmy Hart was there, of course. But Roddy Piper was also there with Hogan. And but Piper came to Motor Center that night. And where I was standing facing the door that all of the wrestlers were coming in at from the loading dock at Motor Center. So Piper came in, and he looked at me, and he looked all confused and frazzled, and he's like, I need your help, man. And I'm like, well, what can I do for you, Roddy? He's like, yeah, I don't know where to go. I mean, I think there's like a locker room that they got for us or something. So then I told him, well, a lot of the male wrestlers are going down that hallway. Maybe it's down there. He's like, okay, yeah, thanks. You've been a big help, buddy. So, and like Mr. Wonderful was kind of the same thing. Mr. Wonderful was kind of confused, and I showed him where to go anyway. But both those interactions were very cool and very awesome because Roddy Piper was a big deal, not just in the WWF, but in the 80s, you know, he was Hulk Hogan's biggest rival, and he also was a big deal in my neck of the woods, Portland, Oregon. And in Portland, Piper was basically our Hulk Hogan. Roddy Piper was the biggest thing ever in Portland. And that area, Portland area, man, we loved our Roddy Piper. They loved their Roddy Piper. And I was very sad when I heard about his passing. But that's my Roddy Piper story. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any Roddy Piper stories? Have you met Roddy Piper? Leave a comment below. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.